So something really interesting is happening in the One Piece TCG right now, and I'm not just talking about prices, I'm talking about chases. That's right, the grails that we've all known and love are starting to shift, and people's attention is starting to change. And we're going to talk about that in today's video. But before we do, guys, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more great content. And of course, if you want some gamer subs, use code Theory or Popper down in the description below. Click that link to get 10% off your order. And without any further ado, let's get into it. So guys, I've been a lifelong One Piece fan. I've been watching since the day it came out when I was a kid. And of course, I've been playing the One Piece TCG since 2023. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the One Piece TCG started in December of 2022, so it was basically the tail end of the year. But I've been basically around for a few years now, and the attitudes of what people are chasing in the One Piece TCG, what people are looking into investing, and all that sort of stuff, has really started to shift. And I've been seeing this shift happen over the last few months, and this goes beyond the Pokebro stuff. Before the big investors were coming in, I was actually seeing this early last year, and we're going to talk about it now in today's video. So guys, as we know, manga rares, right, are the ultimate chase cards. At least that's what we've all been told, you know. You pull one of these bad boys in a pack, you are ecstatic. You know, the percent of you pulling a manga rare from a pack, from a box, from a case is very low. It's below 1%. Typically, and it's just a very hard pull, and we've seen a lot of these manga cards shoot up in price. I mean, you can't even get your hands on the Gear 5 Luffy anymore. Most recent sale, $70? What's that? What is that? No way is that real. Now, that's a strange thing to catch on this video right now. $70? There's something strange about that. Interesting. But anyways, regardless, you can see there's a lot of these other cards selling for $5,000, $8,000, all that sort of stuff. So, you know, we get it. The manga rare cards have been doing really well. The thing is, however, I think that people's attitudes about manga chase cards are starting to shift a bit, because although the rarity is still there, I don't think people are really enjoying what Bandai has been releasing. Case in point here, number one, OP12 really seemed like it was going to be an interesting set. It had Mihawk, it had Zoro, a lot of great styles and stuff, but then they threw Bonnie as the manga chase card in that set. A little awkward, felt a little strange. I mean, like, you don't need to have the manga relate, I guess, to the set, I suppose, but it was a little off-putting considering, you know, when we had Paramount War, we had Ace as a manga card. I mean, that makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, Wings of the Captain, we had a Zoro manga card. I mean, that made a lot of sense. Emperors of the New World, Gold Roger, he was an emperor. I mean, you know, it makes sense. But then they started shifting in OP12. And with EBO3 around the corner, we now know we're getting an Uta manga when so many people hoped for a Robin. And then, of course, with the recent announcement that the next manga for OP15, which looks more Skype-themed, we have a Kobe manga card. So all of a sudden, the top-down management of Bandai deciding these manga cards has been quite odd, and I think people are starting to get a little annoyed about it because a lot of people don't really care for the Kobe or the Uta, and a lot of people are also saying, like, why do we have a prison Kobe? Like, this isn't a good look, you know? Like, we could have had him doing Honesty Impact, we could have had him looking way better, but, like, yet this is kind of where we went with this. Then, of course, with the OP14 set, we've now got the manga card of Mihawk, which was super awesome. And honestly, I don't know why this wasn't an OP12, but then I'm not a big fan of the pose. I think they're messing up with these manga cards now. This could have been a cool pose. It would have been a great opportunity for him to have his sword out. I mean, the SP of Mihawk looks way better. I mean, like, way better look, okay? And I know they have to look similar to the manga, but my point still stands. Now, this brings me to where I was really trying to get at with this video. So I think people's attitudes about mangas, at least the newer mangas, are starting to shift, because now we're seeing SPs are starting to surpass manga cards. We've seen this in Kingdoms of Intrigue, where the Sabo manga card is now the second highest chase card compared to Boa, which is super interesting, and this was definitely one of the first shifts that we saw with this, but I do think it's starting to expand. Now, SPs are becoming a really big deal because, well, let's be honest, they're beautiful cards. They have so much more to offer in terms of looks, and there's like a great variety of these cards. You know, first of all, let's look at these EBO4 SPs. So these cards are absolutely beautiful and look way more appealing than a lot of the manga cards that you can get out there. I mean, Eustace Kid, you'd think would be more popular, but he's actually kind of not. But like, this card is boss. This is a boss card. Any Eustace Kid mains out there would definitely want this in their collection. And then, of course, you know, we've got the manga event cards, which look really nice as well. But my biggest case in point I wanted to make was towards these gold and silver SPs. I'm starting to think gold and silver SPs are beginning to take over the market in terms of chase cards. Let's look at the gold SP Luffy from OP11. I mean, this is a fantastic card. This was basically what people wanted, and if I'm not mistaken, it's probably the most expensive card from the set itself, is it not? Yes, it is. So as we can see here, like, this is another example. We had the Gear 4 Luffy Snake Man card, which I personally got, and I love this card, but I mean, like, look at these cards. They're beautiful. It's Gear 5. Everybody wants a piece of that Gear 5, you know what I'm saying? And we've got the gold and silver version, and this version is great as well. And guys, people are saying the silver chase cards are not worth it, and like, I beg to differ, okay? I literally picked up this card right here. You know, I got the silver Shanks SP from OP13, and I mean, just like, look at the embroidery going on here. I'm not sure how well this is going to look on the screen, but like, they went ham on the embroidery for these gold and silver SPs. Now, I also want to show you the manga here that I've got in my hand, which I'll show you now in a second, because let's click the silver buggy, okay? So this silver buggy on the screen is incredibly detailed. The gold one's even more detailed. But I actually have the manga version, and, you know, when we put it in the light, we can see the texturing, you know, it's nice. It's nothing crazy, right? We can see there, you know, buggy's textured. The back manga drops are textured. But, like, that's besides the point. I mean, the gold texturing of this buggy is phenomenal. It is just so different from the manga card, and I want it really bad. It's going for $3,000 right now. But the point I'm trying to make here, guys, is they're very hard to pull. The cards alone are just, like, incredible. They're just incredible. I mean, you know, obviously the gold Shanks looks super sick, but there's something really unique about this card right here. And it goes for all of the gold and silver SPs. They're just really appealing. They're just beautiful. You know, the manga cards are great. They always had that look, but I feel like Bandai is stepping their game up, and they're starting to go heavy on the embroidery and the texturing and the detail and all that sort of stuff on these chase cards. Now, I don't know if you've seen any of the new SPs for OP14, but they are really detailed. And I'm more referring to the EBO4 cards right now. I mean, this Weevil card, I mean, no one really cares about Weevil. He's such a strange character. We still don't know a whole lot about him. But, like, this card looks amazing. This is, like, the most highly detailed piece of art of this character. And it really kind of shows the moment of this character in the manga, in the show, which is fantastic. And, like, it's an actual piece of art. I mean, all the cards are pieces of art, but, like, I would want to blow this up and have this framed. I mean, like, this is a phenomenal looking card. All of the EBO4 cards look great. And, you know, a lot of people are also undercutting certain cards because of characters on them. There's another EBO4 card of Foxy here, and I get it. Foxy's not like a big popular character, but I actually ordered this card because I think this card looks awesome. I think this card is great. I think every character in One Piece deserves its place to shine a little bit. Bandai seems to love Foxy, you know. They've made quite a few nice Foxy cards, but who knows? All these EBO4 cards may really do well in the long run. I mean, look at this card right here. You know, not everyone's a fan of Foxy or that arc, but like this card, I own this card. It's a really nice card. It's very textured. It's really beautiful to look at. And like, not to mention these SPs as well, which, I mean, there's so many of them now. These beautiful, like, abstract background type of cards. These things are going for crazy prices. I mean, we see here this boa has dropped a little bit, but it's around $870 US, over 1,000 Canadian. I mean, boa always goes crazy, but these cards are just absolutely gorgeous pieces of artwork. And, I mean, if you own a couple of SPs, you know that these look great. And not to mention, Perona, also a big fan favorite. $300 US right now. I do think a lot of these prices are going to drop, guys. We all know this. Prices drop once the set releases, which comes out Friday this week. So, you know, that's another thing to pay attention to. And this is also the treasure rare for the set. So you're going to want to... Is this? Yeah, it's the treasure rare right here, yeah. So you're going to want to pay attention to this card because treasure rares are also super rare. I believe there's only one per case, which is a really interesting type of rarity in the set. So it's currently going for $120. $130, sorry. It'll probably drop down a little bit, but you definitely going to want to snag that card when you get the chance. But yeah, guys, for the most part, that's really the point I wanted to make. I just think that the attitude of chase cards in the One Piece TCG is really starting to change. I think manga cards are still worth it. I still think manga cards are great, but I feel like Bandai has kind of created like a new tier of chase card in the One Piece TCG, and that's basically the category of SPs now. So we've got the manga chase cards. Now we've got the SP chase cards as well. And there's so much variety, but we know the gold and silver obviously sit on top, with a couple of exceptions with the waifu tax. Waifu tax is very strong. But overall, guys, I think this is still really great. I think SPs have always been a fan favorite for many people. I've always loved SPs. I definitely find myself looking at SPs more than manga cards because manga cards are also incredibly inflated. There is still plenty of opportunity within the SPs to get, although the gold and silver versions are beginning to get expensive. So you're going to want to either lock in or wait for the prices to potentially come down, which we have no idea if that'll happen. But I will say for the most part, like, the gold and silver cards are definitely worth getting. The gold cards are very expensive. The silver cards are decently expensive as well. But if you can get a couple of these, I definitely think it's not hurting your portfolio. I definitely think it's something you're going to want because, again, they're like the top chase cards for SPs. And they're very difficult to get to. So, but anyways, guys, with that being said, that's the video. I hope this was insightful. I hope this kind of gave you some new information and knowledge when it comes to navigating the One Piece TCG. You know, things are constantly changing, so you're going to want to stay up to date with what's happening in this market if you're an investor, collector, or even player. But anyways, guys, if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And a video should pop on the screen. Be sure to click it, and I will see you over there.